Welcome to the Pixel Underground podcast. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about Bethesda's upcoming game, Starfield. Okay, and recording now, and this week we are going to talk about Starfield. So,
Yeah.
I got a video
And
pulled up.
crucified for it.
Yeah, I got a video pulled up that I'm gonna send you the
Alright.
link. I'll go
Yeah,
ahead
let
and
me.
I'll screen share with you.
Okay.
But I don't think you'll get the audio from it. But
If anything, I have it pulled up, so.
okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this. They just released this 3 days ago, so I have not seen this. This is Starfield Performance Preview. So
Performance
before
preview, let me put it to HD at least.
Okay. And so before we start watching this, basically Starfield is going to be a space game, but it is not a space exploration game like No Man's Sky, which is what I've seen a lot of people compare it to. It is a space RPG from what I understand so far. I think it's going to be basically like,
Uh,
other
how,
Bethesda
how does
RPGs.
how does being RPG exclude
It
exploration? That's
doesn't it
part of it.
It doesn't exclude exploration, but it's a little bit different. So, like for No Man's Sky, there's not a whole lot of story. There's a little bit of story, but your main thing is just to travel from, world to world, and they're all these procedurally generated planets, and they're pretty much empty. And then you go, you gather materials, you build a base, tame animals or whatever. This, from what I understand so far, is going to be more of like a story or like a narrative focused RPG. And for instance, like when you go from a planet to space or from space to the planet, you don't actually fly in and land or take off or whatever. It's just you choose to go, and then there's like a little cutscene or whatever, and then
But that's
you're in
exactly
space.
what's his name was making a point during the presentation. Todd Howard, the liar of the liars in Bethesda.
Right.
He actually made, I believe he made a point, because I watched it, that you land, when you land and when you take off the planet, that's actually you flying, and you will like see it and whatever, because I remember it was like a standing ovation for that one, almost. And that was one of the reasons why I actually started thinking like, huh, this is not gonna go very well, because the engine is archaic. So, I mean, now they're saying that, oh, well, it's gonna be a cutscene, or it's gonna be a loading screen, or what have you. So during the presentation, either I heard it wrong, or he flat out misspoke.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. This is
We need
just
to
my
we need to
understanding.
watch we need to watch that E3 presentation if you can find it.
Okay, hold on.
Because I am now curious um about actually if I misheard or if he quote unquote misspoke.
Yep. So, let's see. It wouldn't be the official gameplay reveal.
It would be a E3 reveal. That's usually where Todd goes out and then gives like a 10-minute speech of what the game is supposed to be doing, and half the times doesn't do it.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
just
So
it just
there.
works.
Yeah, there's a 4-minute video
I
here.
don't know if it's gonna be I don't know if it's a speech.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's how long Xbox has been with us. And like you, this
That's Todd
is a
talking.
moment I always look forward to. I love seeing the new games, crossing my fingers for my
I can
favorites to
hear it.
return, hoping for a few surprises. Most of all, though, I love seeing everyone around the world come together and celebrate what games mean to all of us. And I think, this past year, they've meant even more. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for the support you give us and one another. Xbox is turning 20. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the friendships we've had that whole time. At Bethesda, We believe video games do one thing better than anything else. They transport us. Through art and technology, there's real magic when you step into a new world and can make it your own. We've traveled the worlds of Elder Scrolls, of Fallout, and now, for the first time in over 25 years,
You're watching the full
we're creating a
presentation,
new
correct?
universe
Yeah.
with Starfield. Set hundreds of years in our future, it's an epic about hope, our shared humanity, and
Oh, he got
answering
promoted,
our
huh?
greatest mystery. It's a game we've
To
dreamt
executive
of playing.
producer.
Did he? Does it say that?
Yeah, that says at the very beginning. He used to be just a game director.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't until now that we have the hardware, the technology, and the team who's hard at work at home to make that dream a reality. We're excited to finally share our first in-game teaser and something to look forward to.
Constellation Starship Frontier.
Yeah, isn't really gonna say it, is it?
I don't know.
Forming remote systems check. Helium-3
No, this is just his short speech. I need a full freaking thing. I need to start recording his presentations because it's impossible to find them afterwards.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I do want to see if it says something about it in this one, though.
I didn't see it in the, I like clicked through, but I didn't see it.
Is so vast, but that we have measured it. You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family. What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
Full present, not a full presentation though, guys.
Jemison route looks good.
We've come to the beginning of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure.
I get the feeling you will have to watch ESO's video on this because he has a 15-minute video.
Yeah, I'm not
That's why we're here.
I'm not 100% sure.
You'll have to edit all of this out
Discover
though,
what's out there.
Good luck, constellation.
and later on.
Go.
Yeah, I'm pulling up their website to see.
Hang on, just 1 second. I may have found it. Now it says game director, so he's probably executive producer at Xbox, if I were to guess. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Be who you want, go where you want. Heard that before.
Yeah, so we saw that. I've got a GameSpot article pulled up on them that I can get to in a little while, but I do want to watch this, the new video that they put out.
Okay.
So,
I'm just trying to find him talking specifically about that point, where he said that. Okay, mysterious moon of Crete. I don't care. Todd, where are your promises? Promises, Todd. I'll take
Well,
take
they
you.
mighta- yeah.
I'll take you on your word, Todd.
yeah,
Because you and
I
because
wish
you and
I could
Pete-
remember now where he said it at, like where I heard him say that, or where
Hold
I got
on.
that from.
Let's watch your video. I will here and there in between. I'm going to keep on watching what Todd is blabbering in there, because ESO seems to have like the entire thing, which is exactly what I was looking for. So.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and watch this, the new Starfield performance preview.
I can actually hear your YouTube video.
Yeah.
But I'm
Bethesda
gonna
are now
mute
one of the
mine.
biggest
I'm just gonna
studios in
watch it
Microsoft's
in
portfolio,
good
And
quality.
they have been delivering
Okay.
hits since the MS-DOS and Commodore Amiga days. Earlier this summer, they revealed gameplay of arguably their most anticipated title to date. So let's take a flight into Starfield. From a team that has brought us the likes of Elder Scrolls and the Fallout series, it almost seems inevitable that a space-focused RPG was always within their DNA. Announced in 2018, this Xbox and PC exclusive has built excitement from that very day, with very little being shown. But with a 2023 release planned, the gameplay reveal was overdue and has given us a chance to understand just what the team are delivering here. At a headline level, it's based on an evolved version of the Creation Engine, regally entitled the Creation Engine II. It has clear similarities with its rendering output to both Fallout 76 and in some ways Skyrim, which were built on the Creation Engine. Much of the basis that Fallout 4 and later titles ushered in, though, were physically based lighting shaders and materials. A deferred tile-based rendering pipeline which enables the high dynamic light sources across all games use, volumetric lighting, and more accepted modern techniques. But technology delivers a great deal more than just the visuals. Have it physics, aids animation, AI, and quest
get the
building
feeling it's
stem
gonna
from
look
the
like
engine's
Fallout 4.
Radiant system, and much of these are what make up the
Yeah,
core
maybe.
DNA of Bethesda games.
What I've seen so far has looked pretty good, but it could.
They said 16 times the detail in Fallout 76. Have you ever looked up at those textures up close?
Keep in mind, this is all
No,
based
I
on
haven't.
work in
They
progress
look
footage,
exactly
and the
like
team
Fallout
will be
4
working
looks
ahead
on
of its
vanilla.
launch. As such, all,
Oh,
some,
damn.
or none of these areas could change upon release.
Like,
With that cleared up,
at some
let's
point, I
begin
could see
with the
fucking
cover
pixels
of the
on
book
the
and those rendering
shades.
changes.
The shading.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
Now, Fallout 4 and 76 really improved on building atmosphere within that real-world rendering and scale. From your emergence out of the shelters to the ruined wasteland sprawling out in front of you, to the depth it created with volumetric lighting, it instantly had an imposing and grandiose feel to it. Starfield has certainly taken this as the baseline and improved the resolution, the composite.
I think I know what other game they're gonna compare this
some
to.
form of GI bounce is factored
Think so?
in, but looks better here than it did in the
The,
Fallout titles.
what was
Scale
it?
is,
Outer
again,
Worlds?
front and center, with long barren
Also
vistas
set
Oh,
in
yeah,
space.
yeah.
Height fog.
Looks somewhat similar in graphics too. Especially the up
Dude,
close characters.
I never finished Outer Worlds.
I was watching somebody play it. I was so bored.
Really?
I was bored out of my mind watching somebody play that game.
Dude,
It just was not grabbing me at all. Like, I couldn't.
Yeah, I feel
Same-
like
I-
I got bored playing it. Like, I played it for stream, and then I just never finished it.
I watched same person that I watched Skyrim and somewhat Fallout 4. The person didn't finish Fallout 4. But I watched full Skyrim playthrough, whatever they had for Fallout 4, and I always loved their or his, I should say, his playthroughs. And I
Yeah.
watched Outer Worlds. I just could not. I maybe watched like 5-6 episodes, and I was just falling asleep to it. It's like, especially considering how hyped up it is. Oh, it's Obsidian. Oh, it's like Fallout New Vegas, creators of Fallout New Vegas, blah blah blah. But I'm telling you, no wonder I freaking got bored. I don't like Fallout New Vegas either. It's just glorified walking.
dude, I loved New
Glorified
Vegas.
walking simulator. Just saying.
It
But
is, but I mean, there are some good parts. I think I beat New Vegas like 5 or 6 times. That was probably my most
beaten
played
it once,
Fallout.
and I had enough of it. It's like I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you remember this quest in New Vegas?" I said, "Unless it was main quest of Brotherhood, no," because I was freaking bored out of my mind. Even like I was itching to finish the story, and then I was really disgruntled by the fact that you don't get to see the end results of your choices because the game rolls you back before the final save. So I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, because I come back on the heels of finishing Fallout 4. I played Skyrim, I played Oblivion, and
Right.
I played Fallout 3, and I'm pretty sure all of them have a game post main quest. And like you
yeah.
do whatever residual shit you have to do. But with Fallout New Vegas, you got that rollback save, and I'm like, okay, I don't get to see my own choices. Why the hell should they even matter then? You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
put all this time, all this effort in trying to figure out who to side with, and whatnot, and all these factions, and then there is no end result.
Right.
I'm like, well, thanks for wasting my time.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and
a
it's
fair
like,
point.
and then it's Fallout 76, Fallout New Vegas is a lot like Assassin's Creed Origins. Everybody hails it to be a great game, but if you really play it, it's boring as all heck because you're in desert in both cases. You travel through the desert with hardly anything to see or hardly anything to do. And in Assassin's Creed Origins, if you tried to complete a freaking map, you would literally be riding on your camel for 15 freaking minutes with nothing to do or to see.
Yeah.
Like it's just you in the desert. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah,
And
people really don't want those long travel times anymore, that's for sure.
it's not even that. Like, okay, I'm in the desert. I would appreciate a freaking cave to explore or something, a bandit
Yeah.
fort, an oasis, anything. Just put, if you're gonna have these huge chunks of map, something in them, or don't have them at all. Condense the map or what have you, because because you travel all this distance and it's on foot in Fallout New Vegas too. So you end up spending all this time doing virtually nothing. And this is why I don't like it.
Right.
So, I mean, story-wise, I guess story was okay. I was so bored I stopped paying attention. But, I mean, I think I sided with Mr. House, whatever the robot was.
Yeah, I
in
think
the
I did
casino.
the same thing.
But then again, I wasn't quite paying attention. So, I was like, whatever, I'll just go with the first freaking faction. I'll just close my eyes and point. So, but
Yeah,
and
that
then
works.
I'm just hoping that. So when I was watching Outer Wilds, I was just as bored. But then again, I'm bored with almost every Obsidian game. That's why I kind of never finished. What is that? Pillars of Eternity. I actually
Oh,
never
okay.
finished either of those games. I own them both, and I never finished either of them. I just get bored. And so this game, I get the feeling will get compared a lot to Outer Worlds. There's
Yeah, it
Outer
might.
Wilds as well, so I get confused.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially when they have those close-ups, because in Outer Worlds they had the same thing. Like when you talk to NPC, it zooms in because
Right.
that's how Fallout 3 and New Vegas were. Oh, not New Vegas. Elder Scrolls Oblivion was. And I think they're going back to that in this game, judging by the preview that was a few seconds ago.
Yep.
So it's gonna draw a lot of parallels, in my opinion.
Yeah, it could. I think the game I've seen it compared to most often so far was No Man's Sky, just because, you know,
Yeah.
it's space game, and No Man's Sky was, you know, it started really, really bad, but has had so many free updates since launch that it's now considered generally to be like one of the best space games ever. And you know, people just love the fact that they haven't had to pay for any of these updates. They're like, you know, DLCs or
Right.
whatever you want to call them. So I think a lot of people are making that. I'm just not sure they're really comparable, because I think
But
it is two
I
different
think-
like styles of game.
I think that people also compare it to the No Man's Sky. It's like the first thing that comes to mind. For one simple reason, everybody forgot that Outer Worlds exists.
Yeah, that's fair. I completely forgot until you said something, and I own the game. All right,
So
let's
I'm
finish
just
this.
saying.
Yeah, let's get through this video a little bit more.
Is again used.
Okay,
which will be a
simulates
combination
air
of flat 2D
particulates,
sprites
creating a
can be
light
raised
prism
and lowered
effects
to
of
create
hazy depth and
simulate
depth of
atmospheric
water.
scattering of the
Will
air
there be
pollution
God
caused by
rays? I know Todd
reactions.
loves his
Then
God
vol-
rays. He's like obsessed with God rays in every single freaking game he makes.
Maybe.
Whether they should be there or shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have to see.
Just saying.
Metrics are also
Yeah.
used, but mostly here within the interior sections. These do appear to have a distinct change though from those exterior sections, just like Fallout and Fallout
It looks
76.
exactly like
But I
Fallout.
suspect these sections actually load into the bigger indoor areas, and that can then change the rendering, which is what we're seeing here. Shadow casting light sources are obviously much higher due to the electrical.
I think it
light
looks a
dot
little
through
better.
them, as are the shadow map quality themselves compared to
Well, in the
outdoors.
previews,
They
it
use a
better look
softer
better,
amber
but it all
effect, which
depends
is
on when
better than
you
previous
upload it on your
titles,
machine
but
and
obviously
see
a
up
much
close
lower resolution
what it
than
looks
the
like.
cascades, which can cause dithering and flickering. These do appear to be using a reconstruction or at least part of the TAA specific pass, causing some creature shadows to be more
Gives me
stable
Destiny
but exhibit
vibes a little
ghostly
bit.
artifacts as they move. The light and shadows are
I
mixed
mean,
with volumetrics, creating metallic look
visually,
to
not
most
the
surfaces
gameplay.
and sections here, with high gloss surfaces, metallic or not. This also shows that from what we can see anyway, screen space reflections likely remain within the engine, but they're not used here and not replaced with ray trace reflections or other post effects. Now this is
Gun
inherently
gameplay
not a
is
bad
exactly
thing. The
like
game
Fallout.
does use a great deal of SSR on
Aside
water
from
bodies
that,
in previous
whatever
titles.
that
And of
circle
all the areas
was.
shown so far, this doesn't appear to be the case, meaning projected cube maps and imposter light probes are relied on to simulate specular highlights and emphasize material quality. This may
that's
be
a cool looking
dual
gun.
target of keeping resolutions and performance as high
Give
as
modders
possible
a month, they'll
across all
make better.
platforms, ensuring that it can scale and
Yeah,
run
probably.
Half of the
both
half of the
Xbox
stuff
One
probably
and
will
lower-end
migrate
PCs,
into
as
mods
this
on
forms
Fallout
a good
4.
portion of its intended marketplace. A good start for sure, with rocky surfaces and tech-noir-like cities showing that the art and tech team have created a variety within the engine and the game world overall to ensure that we do not have 1,000 plus planets that are
I mean, when they
various shades
presented
of
Fallout
copy-paste
4, it
grey.
looked
This
phenomenal.
also
And
includes
I mean,
some nice
maybe for
fauna and flora
2015 it was
sections,
alright.
and I desperately want to
But
see more of the world
upon
that the
closer
team have created.
inspection, that game has myriad of issues to this day, to a point that modders just can't fix it without unrestricted access to the engine.
Right.
Because the
Animations
issues are
another
at the core.
area of the game, and Starfield does look to have made a significant improvement here. The PBR materials show better.
You mean the
and
same
more fuzzy
cross-eyed,
skin and
half
simulate
cross-eyed
subsurface
characters like
scattering
they
Yeah,
do
that's
in
weird,
every
right?
game?
The highlights and skin and higher
They
bandwidths
make them
on
in every
faces
game like that
themselves
too.
Yeah, it's like they put the eyes too far apart, and then they try to look at you straight ahead. So
They look like they have like lazy eyes going different
it's
directions.
like everybody's moms drank too much.
Mhm.
Oh man, okay.
demonstrable improvement over Fallout. As these conversation sections will incorporate both main and side quest NPCs, the quality is also much higher here from the example shown, as they likely form the core story part. Performance capture here would be far too large an undertaking. so
that
these
one
would
was-
likely
that
be
was
built
better.
by using an improved text.
Oh, that guy was way better.
System, which we've seen in earlier games and other titles. The shape of vowels and letters is good, with a good blend of facial expression to emphasize the meaning, again improving.
I'm
on
really
previous
hoping they
titles.
dedicated more
Like many of
time
these
writing a
solutions, it
better
can
story
have
than they
wooden
have for the
moments, but I'm
past
confident
decade.
the sheer extent
Yeah,
of
me
dialogue,
No
too.
story, and
jokes.
quest it will contain, the level and quality shown here is certainly good enough to allow the team to iterate as fast as possible whilst delivering high quality stories for us to enjoy. And it will be interesting to hear more on the specifics
mean,
around what
UI
they've
looks
done here
alright.
to balance the script
Yeah.
and voice
I would
recordings
probably
within
want
the
something like that
automated
on
or
Fallout.
procedural animation system. The actual character models you create are not
I
as
hope somebody will
impressive,
make
though,
a
with the same
mod
issues we've seen in earlier games.
for Fallout
Namely,
like that.
eye
It would be cool.
parallax, blinking pupils,
True.
and emotion all looking very flat and effectively not convincing you they're humans at all. Made worse by limited facial bones, low hair cards, and general vertex shifted feature set to choose from. That said, you will likely not see yourself a great deal in the game, so it may not be that impactful, but it is far from the best avatar creator we have seen.
So, you found something?
Okay, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Like he said, I'm really into creating characters, and like I'm one of those people that I can spend a ton of time in the character creator. But it, like he said, if you're behind your character 90% of the time and almost never see the face anyways, it's not a huge deal. It's never been a huge deal to me, and like honestly, like even Skyrim, it's not a huge deal because like you said, I almost never see my character. So
The only thing is I never wear helmets in Skyrim because I want to zoom out sometimes. Like, I play first person in combat, but I play third person when I'm just traveling.
Right, yeah.
So, but I really don't look at my character, but I really hate those ugly ass helmets. And same in Fallout 4, because when you have the conversation, it's a dynamic camera, so you get to see your character.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I never wear any helmets. I'm like, screw it, these things are, unless it's a mod that looks super cool. Like there was a mod, I don't remember if I actually used it or not, but I wanted to. It's like a little like tactical gear, for example, or
Right.
there was like a little hyper futuristic sort of like a lens on your eye with like little symbols on it, as if it has like aiming recticle or something, or whatever
Oh,
it's
yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like a little
So
target or whatever.
yeah, sort of like a little target and stuff. So I kind of like those head gear because it's not overwhelming. But regular helmets, I'm like, yeah, I am not wearing that.
Yeah, I usually hide my helmet just so I can show off my blue hair. Unless I
So
can't
no,
have blue hair.
but you know, I mean, install mods and you can have blue hair and or any other hair in
Yeah.
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
But so I'm just hoping they put a little bit of more work into the freaking story.
Right, that's the main thing I think for me is like a game like this, my main focus is going to be the story, and then my secondary focus would be like the the customization of like the spaceship and stuff like that, and then the the exploration, the gameplay of how fun is it to run around and explore and kill aliens,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'll go through pretty much anything for a good enough story. So yeah, it's important.
The new guy found it.
You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions?
The artifact you found appears to be one of many, scattered across the galaxy.
Animation itself is another area that always has mixed results in Bethesda games. Starfield certainly shows big improvements here. Running, combat, hiding, and even walking show clear shifts between animation cycles, helped by that Havoc integration here when shot or hit, significantly improving this on the very wooden and flat death animations of older titles. But this section here, as you come into the room, the stiff
Animation on gunplay are exactly the same as Fallout 4, damn
They
it.
look little more than low-level cannon fodder. This
Exactly the
is mirrored against other
same.
set AI routines being played out and offers a
I
stiff-looking combat
don't know.
example,
Were they
while
shown
not
to be
helped by
aiming down
another key
sights?
area that remains from all their previous
You what?
titles. Dynamic
I don't know if
movement
they
of
were
the world, and
shown to be
specifically
aiming down
foliage and
sights.
destruction. Boxes are either
Oh, yeah, I'm
crates
not
to
sure.
open or adamantium barricades that are equally weighted and floaty or immovable. If I could make a request to the team, it would be to integrate physics more into the world itself, to allow trees, shrubs to bob and sway around explosions and gunshots, objects to break and react to pressure waves of explosions, break down when
Can
used
request
as
all
cover
he
under
wants, they're
fire,
not gonna do
and
that.
even form tactics
Right.
within your gameplay, such
Modders
as
will,
planting explosives for traps
as
to create
always.
bridges to fall,
Yeah.
blocks to crumble, or more. This would not only enhance the visual
Have to bail
presentation
out
we see,
Bethesda.
but also improve the interaction and tactical elements of gameplay. I do need to caveat this again with a statement at the start that this is what we've seen so far. It may already be in the game or planned for launch. The point is the world and materials look great throughout, but the physicality and fragility of the world is an area I would still like to see improve. Animals, robots and NPCs are another area that is always of good quality in Bethesda games, but not the best. The panning and walking shots on Terraformer show that little has changed here. Spider-like creatures or an aliens-like cargo skeletal robot all look similar to what we've seen before. This backs up my earlier comment on iteration. Clear similarities to No Man's Sky are unavoidable, but the resource collection would be significantly improved with more dramatic and effects-based level of geometric destruction as you break off parts for mining. This, paired with procedural destruction of enemies,
Oh,
could
looky,
really
they
help
borrowed
raise the
something from
exploration and combat sections and
from what
increase
do you
that
call it, No Man's Sky?
physicality again. Everything
Yeah, I knew there was gonna be some kind of parallels drawn there. I wasn't sure how much though, but honestly, that's a really fun part of these types of games is like mining with a laser beam and stuff like that. I've always really enjoyed that.
looks very good and physically very plausible, but the interaction and rigidity of it all can lessen the strong impression it has in other areas.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping somebody will port this UI onto Fallout 4 because UI looks cool.
Yeah.
It would appear that pirates of the Crimson Fleet are
But
using
gameplay is exactly
And that is the
Fallout.
space sections here. The opportunity with the space and galaxy travel, for me, is very exciting. It takes me back to the days of Elite and trading cargo or choosing to be a bounty hunter. This could be a hidden gem of the game overall, as you take on missions and then engage in dramatic and dynamic space battles with friend and foe alike. Building your own ship, designing the layout, the chassis, the cockpit, the weapons arsenal, and more. This is sci-fi heaven to a Trekkie fan like myself. It really
So
has
they're
the
not gonna
potential
sell
create a
this to
full
us in
character to complement your
microtransactions.
own avatar design and allows you to form a
Right.
bond with your ship
Shall we make
and your
bets
crew you may
that will
employ
be
to run it
paid?
or the resource mining
Something
stations you may
somehow
build.
they will
Combat looks
they'll
to
figure
play
out
into
how
the
to
floaty
monetize
physics
this
we
shit.
see elsewhere in the game, and it works perfectly
Maybe.
here. Particle explosions,
I
dogfight,
mean,
cloak and
Creation
dagger, and
Club
even warp
exists,
speed travel.
Yeah.
The potential here is
aka
for far
paid
grander
mods.
and bigger battles with AI-controlled comrades and a fleet of AI-controlled foes.
Although,
This,
I
for
mean,
me,
I
is
have
single
the
biggest factor
anniversary
that
upgrade.
Starfield
I admit that I
demonstrated and
caved
had
in
me
and bought
hooked,
that stuff,
not only in what they actually teased, but
and that
also
was
the
actually not too
potential it
bad.
demonstrated for the
But I
title.
only bought it on
That could
sale,
scratch a
so I only
Right,
key
paid
yeah.
like
aspect of that lonely
$11
space
for it
marine
or some shit.
the RPG
That's
area
not
that
bad.
many
So,
of us
but
still have.
yeah,
I
but
can't wait to
still,
see
the
more from
idea
the team
remains
later
that
this year and what
Creation
this could
Club is out
add.
there, and that's
Yeah.
monetizations for a single player game.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. And you know, you don't tend to see a whole lot of monetization stuff like that with single player games, but you know, it's 2022. You know,
You clearly have
everything.
not been playing Assassin's Creed games lately.
No, I have not. I actually don't like Assassin's Creed at all.
Okay, so basically, Assassin's Creed games Origins. I don't know about before that. Well, I mean, before that was I think it was as early as Unity at least. They would sell you XP boosters for a single player game.
That's wild. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
there's
that's
no absolutely no fucking reason, and people were claiming that there is XP grind and blah blah blah. I mean, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, max level is 99, as far as I'm aware.
right.
I'm like level 90 in that game, without
Wow.
any boosters whatsoever. Like it's fairly easy to do. I mean, you don't need boosters for this shit.
Right. Well, I mean, if you sell it, someone's gonna buy it. You know what I mean?
I was level 55 by the end of the base game, but I did everything before the final mission.
Mhm.
I did almost every side quest there was to find. I think there were a couple that I didn't do. And I did the final mission and all that, all the side quests, I explored everywhere. I mean, I have 99% of achievements in that game with 100% for base game. I platinumed that thing
Damn.
on PS4. I was 55 by the end of base game. I was 89 by the time I was done with both expansions.
Right.
And I'm level 90 or maybe 91, something like that. But I'm already done with New Game Plus base game, and I'm on my way to Atlantis. So I haven't done the expansion. I'm pretty sure I will be able to get at least 4 or 5 levels during that if I
Okay.
get to play it again.
Cool.
So, but yeah, I mean, the selling boosters or selling something in the single player game that shouldn't even be there is a thing these days. And Bethesda is known to admit that EA is their inspiration for monetization schemes.
Yeah, that's not good.
So when I see these things like these ships, all this customization and shit, knowing that this is Bethesda and knowing that it's not 10 years ago, I am starting to suspect where's the monetization devil hiding.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You know, I'm very excited for the starship customization because building starships has been something that I've always loved. Even like when I was really young, I would just take the Legos, like the basic Legos, and I would just build all different types of spaceships. And you know, they were squares and rectangles, so there's no curves to them. But but it was something I've always like. I haven't seen anything like super cool looking though, so I'm hoping there's some cooler options.
I'm really
What?
hoping they're not gonna sell us these ships at the price of a Star Citizen.
Oh God, yeah, Star Citizen, Jesus. You know what? They had like a sale or something, and I bought that game, and I went to play it, and I think I played it for like an hour. And there's like a part where you're sleeping in your bunk, and you're supposed to get up and run through the space station to your ship and take off and like leave the, or no, I can't remember if it's on a planet or what. I think it might have been on a planet. And like I got up twice. The first 2 times my character just fell through the space station and died. Like fell through the floor, fell into whatever. Or I don't think it was a space station. I think it was a base on the planet. It's hard to remember. This is like 2 years ago. But I fell through the floor and died twice. And then I finally get to my ship and try to take off, and I crash and die. And then and I finally get back to the ship, get it taken off, I remember it was on a planet because I took off and broke orbit, and as soon as I broke orbit, the game crashed. And then I did that 2 more times, and it crashed every time, and then I refunded it.
Oh, the fact that you bought that quote-unquote game tells me you're a sucker for punishment.
Well, it looks really good. Like the
Yeah,
graphics
well.
and everything, the ships, the characters. It was
You mean
almost creepy.
those ships for 30 grand or whatever they wanted for
Oh
'em?
God, yeah, I don't remember the pricing, but I remember thinking like, how in the hell can they get away with selling a virtual spaceship for like the price of a spaceship? I mean, it's, a real spaceship obviously is a lot more, but it's ridiculous. It's astronomical. What they sell something. Even paying
Oh.
$60 for an in-game spaceship is way too much in my opinion.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like when I see these customizations in Starfield, there are at least 2 questions that immediately pop in my head. First, will it even work? Because we all know how building of the base worked in Fallout 4. It required modders to fix that shit.
Right.
And then second question is how much? Because there has to be a monetization somehow attached. If they don't, I admit I will be the first to be surprised and say good on them. I will
Yeah.
be the first to admit that Bethesda might be on their road to redemption. But I have seen their horse armor, I have seen their creation club, I have seen their paid mods, I have seen Fallout 76 with Fallout First, with never-ending cash shop in there, with outrageous prices.
Right.
So hence, when it comes to this game, I mean, fanboys can run in here and tell me that, oh, I'm wrong, but the history is history and it's facts.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, my skepticism, like I had an argument with somebody in one of the comment section, one of the YouTubers that I watch, and the guy was just telling me that I'm wrong. I'm like, how am I wrong? It's a history of facts with Bethesda. And they're like, well, because they made a mistake with Fallout 76, you are all ready to like cancel them out or whatever. I'm like, first of all, it's not the first time they screwed up.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's not the first time that they lied. And third, Fallout 76 was big enough mistake for people to become skeptic. And if these people chose to forget how Bethesda treated them as customers, as a loyal community, if Starfield comes out and it doesn't work, well, don't complain then.
Yeah.
I mean, they will be the first ones in the forums and on Steam review bombing this game.
Yeah,
If it doesn't live up to expectations, they will be the first people to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I would like to hold out hope, and because it looks very good to me, and like I'm very excited for it. But I know, like I'm old enough to know that you do have to take this kind of thing with a grain of salt and say, okay, so if it comes out and it's all busted up, I can't be shocked by it. I wouldn't be shocked by it. But I would like to hold out hope because it's nice to get excited for a game and to look forward to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not gonna sit here and say there's no way that this game's gonna be all jacked up when it comes out, or there's no way that they're gonna have a cash shop. I mean, I'm not gonna die on that hill.
Well, some people are prepared to, and some people get really, really mad if you come out and say that you disagree, if that you think that this game is not gonna live up to the expectation, that it's being overhyped. And I mean, like, I'm like, guys, Cyberpunk 2077 didn't teach you anything, did it?
Oh my
Don't hype
god,
up the
that game.
because don't hype up the games because the devs will try to meet your expectations and won't. And then
Yeah.
you will be disappointed, and then you will be dunking and shitting on this game at every chance you get.
Dude.
And then you will be
game?
saying,
Oh my god.
and then they will be sitting there and saying, "Oh well, Fallout 76 happened, so why did we expect anything different?" If
Right.
this game comes out and it doesn't have any microtransactions, and it's super quality right out the gate,
Mm-hmm.
good quality, right? And if Bethesda does their freaking job for once and fixes the bugs post-launch quickly and efficiently, we know the track record that it didn't happen with Fallout 76, but I'm just saying. If they do all that and they will say we humbly learned our lesson and we want to restore goodwill of our community, I will be the first person to say, congratulations, you're on the correct way, and I might be interested in buying this game. I'm not a huge fan of space games, but for mods, what the hell.
Yeah.
But if history taught me anything, is that Bethesda is like war, it doesn't change.
Yeah. Well, it'll
In
probably
in
only
sort
be
of their own words. War
Right.
never changes. So does Bethesda. So does Bethesda.
Yeah.
Or it changes for the worse. But yeah, that's my main concern, is that but then don't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah. One, it's only going to be maybe a
not you,
month
it's
after launch that you'll be able to fly around in a big Thomas the Tank Engine or something, I'm sure.
But the thing is, first things, the huge hope is that the Arthmore and his team are ready for the big effing asteroid heading their way, because he's the author of unofficial patches for both Skyrim and Fallout 4.
Right.
So if he's not too upset with Nexus Mods website, he might release an unofficial patch, which I'm sure there will be a necessity for this. But and then modders will have to hatch and fix things up later on, because again, if history taught me anything. So I mean, as I said, fanboys can come in here and yell at me all they want, but guys, I look at the track record, and it should be very understandable why I am cautious and skeptical.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm gonna try and finish out this video. We got 4 minutes left on.
Okay.
Some gaps or questions do remain. How linked are the space travels to the planet landings, for example? Rumblings are these sections are merely canned animations played out as you enter the atmosphere or leave it. For me, this would be a grave error, as one immense...
Okay, so he just said the thing that we were talking about earlier, that it's when you go to take off, it plays a cutscene of like your ship leaving the planet, and then you're in space.
I wonder if it's gonna be like a dynamic load screen, sort of like the elevators were in Fallout 4.
Yeah, maybe.
Where you get into an elevator, so things seemingly move, because if you're there with your companions or whatever, they will move around.
Right.
And disappear on occasion.
Yeah.
But that acted like a loading screen essentially.
Right. Well, and Destiny did the same thing, where it'll show your ship, or if you're going in with people, show their ships too, and you can move your ship kind of move your ship around, but it's basically a loading screen.
An evocative aspect.
Man, I haven't played that game in forever.
To run to your ship, take off through the clouds and stratosphere before being plunged into open space. And even
Seriously,
more
when
so,
the
reverse that,
NPCs are
travel
shown
from
up
into
close
space.
talking,
This could and
I
should be a
mean,
cool target for the team, as I think the
it's
effort
Outer
spent
Worlds
will
all over
lift
again.
the game's enjoyment,
Yeah.
atmosphere,
Some of
and
these
above all,
shots are like
agency
Fallout
for
all
players,
over
as I think
again.
this is a key factor they are including. The general range of planets and locations shown is positive, with more space creatures.
You can see
fauna
widescreen is
filled
gonna
with
be only
animated
30 FPS.
planets, dense neon metropolises, in addition
Really?
to the barren craters,
That's what it
rocky
said.
plains, and more we've
Yeah.
seen so far.
Let me
The
look.
art and tech team have
I'll
certainly
try
combined
to,
here to improve many aspects of older titles. They use far more post
What
effects
was that?
and alpha effects to create atmosphere and density. They use
Come on,
light and
I
certainly
saw it.
shadow casting light sources far more often, which improves the solidity and grounding of characters and objects in the world. which
So
you can see quite clearly
3840
in
by
this
2160 at 30 FPS.
Well, that sucks.
No, that's what I'm
Another area
saying.
to
Like,
discuss
is the
is the game's
I get the
target
feeling that
resolution
engine
and
will not
frame
be
rate,
able
particularly
to.
for
Oh,
the
right there.
title.
It just said
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Oh, is my video ahead of yours?
I think
What?
it must be because I didn't know where you're getting that info from, and it just popped up on my.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I somehow my video just jumped ahead.
Oh.
The footage shown,
I
and
keep
a 30
pausing at the
FPS
same
level
time
on
you do,
Series
but
X.
apparently
I think they need to offer a
YouTube thinks
dynamic
that I should be
4K
ahead.
60, which would go a long way, I think, to help
Spoiling things
alleviate
for
the
you.
Oh, yeah.
well-founded worry of Bethesda games struggling to hit that 30 FPS target. Fallout 4 did have some issues when it was launched on Xbox One and PS4 back in 2015, and although the PS4 was worse at the start and later patched, both still remain with some impactful sub 30 FPS sections that did affect your enjoyment. This work in progress footage here did highlight some dips below that 30 FPS level at times without a frame graph required, but the release date a good way off and the prior history of
Where
Bethesda
the hell is he?
titles.
Well, building. Hello. Well, I'm watching ESO's video
Final release.
background here, and they have the building of the base and shit. Well, hello, Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I mean, similar menu, you know.
Overall, what was shown here
You
from
hire
Starfield was a great
characters,
teaser to what
same
could
as
land
Fallout
and be
4.
a huge hit for both Bethesda and Xbox
Okay.
in 2023. I really am looking forward to seeing more of the title once it gets closer to launch, and hopefully this will be a big game that draws more people back into space sci-fi, which for me is one of my favourite genres. Anyway, that's it for another tech deep dive into game and
All right. Well, I mean, I thought that was a pretty interesting video. It was kind of more on the technical side there, but it did still give a lot of other info.
Yeah, hold on. I might have found where, like, I found where Todd is talking about flying a ship.
Okay. Oh, is that the one that
Okay.
you just sent me? Or
Yeah.
no, you said, okay.
So, the part where he starts about talking that it flies at 11:31, if you get curious.
At Bethesda Softworks to Xbox.
It's a little low on sound.
Bringing their franchises to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I was looking for a part where Todd starts talking.
For you to enjoy. We know that everyone has been eager to see Starfield. Our show today has highlighted.
Because I may have misheard him. I totally
fitting that
accept that part.
With an extended first look at one of the most anticipated games in Xbox history. This is Starfield.
Yes.
Oh, he seems excited.
Finally, let's go, Todd Howard
Yeah.
deep dive. This is what we've all been waiting for.
Is he not talking about it? I
The
thought he
wonder
talked
is
about
not
planets.
Um,
I may have been wrong. I may have been wrong on that.
Field of
Yeah, I'm not
stars
sure.
is so vast, but that man
Oh, wait.
has measured it. 1894. And we're still finding out it's much bigger than we realized.
13. You can start around 13:05, and then on that's close to the end of his speech where he starts saying final stuff.
Right.
Look at the asteroid field. I wonder if it's going to be like.
We can't wait for all of you to experience the game. Thanks again for being with us today, and thanks for all the support you've given us over the decades, especially on this game. It's been an incredible journey for us making it, but we know that's really only the beginning. For
That's
when all of you
100
play it,
systems. I'm
that the
a little
real
ahead of you
journey
on that one.
begins.
Yeah.
So he says it's
And
100
you may be
systems
wondering,
with so
just how
many
big is this
planets
game?
in them.
So we thought we'd
I-
take one last moment.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
try
be
they-
pretty big.
His question
Wow.
is,
Take a
can
look
their
at one of our
engine
planets,
hold
Jemison.
it? Because
You can
Fallout, when Fallout 4 came out, they were also saying, "Oh, we upgraded the engine, yada yada," and then you go into the downtown Boston, like Boston Commons, you drop to 15 frames per second, no matter what you do. You can play vanilla game, you can have mods, because they compress the textures to make it all fit.
Yeah.
Which is why if modders go in and they move one single item, those textures start falling apart and it screws up like 9 or 8 cells nearby.
Ooh.
So it affects like a huge chunk of a game. So then you start losing frames everywhere. But
Wow.
I know that they did that when they created Fallout 4. This is why you cannot have like scrap everything mod, because it breaks those textures and it's just your game just gonna dunk on the frames just
Right.
everywhere. And I'm just curious how they created, if each system is a separate cell or group of cells, its own, say, world space. Is a planet is its own world space, and then there's world space within the planet. I'm kind of curious how they structured that game, because it's gonna directly affect how this game runs, how many bugs and problems it potentially can have. Because when they did pre-war section
Right.
for Fallout 4, a lot of its problems actually root for the game, for modding, root in that pre-war section specifically. I mean,
Oh,
I can
okay.
install a fresh Fallout 4 game, no mods, no changes whatsoever to ini files or anything. It will crash 50-50, crash on my way to the vault.
Huh.
So,
That's
I
wild.
mean, but you know, that's what I'm saying. I'm very curious how they structured this game, because it's gonna potentially cause problems down the line.
Yeah, true.
land in New Atlantis, but you can also land and explore anywhere on the planet.
What?
And it's not just this planet.
I
It's
doubt that
all
they're
the planets in the
procedurally
system.
generated.
Oh, okay.
From barren, but
Okay,
resource-heavy
I
ice
was
balls
wrong. I
to
thought
Goldilocks
that
planets
Todd
with life.
talked about how it looks
And not
when
just
you
this
like,
system,
take off
but
and
over
shit.
100.
Well, he said, okay, so it's showing the planet and it showed the city where you could land, but then he says, but you could also land anywhere else on the planet. So I'm not sure how that would work if you can't just free fly, down into the atmosphere and find a place to land. I'm wondering if there's like a mix. I'm wondering if there's like like you can choose a landing spot and then your ship just does it, or if you can choose to just fly straight in.
Yeah, I don't know, because like you do similar thing in Andromeda, in Mass Effect Andromeda,
Right.
but you have predetermined landing sites. You cannot just land
Right.
anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have these pockets on each planet that you can explore, but it's not the entire thing. So I don't know. I feel like they're biting a little too much than the game can handle. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm extremely skeptic of how well this game can run.
And I think it's going to be kind of a mix of procedural generation with like the predetermined assets or whatever. Because there's no way that they completely crafted, X number of planets. I mean, a planet in a video game, even just in a game, like obviously it's going to be way smaller than, like trying to explore a planet in the real world. But even then, it's still massive. It would take forever to make.
The problem, not problem, but a question I have is, can Creation Engine generate procedurally anything besides radiant quests? Because generating a quest is one thing. It's just a few scripts run and the quest is generated.
Right.
To procedurally generate a location, there has to be something. I don't know if this engine can actually procedurally generate anything.
Well, shit, we're gonna find out, I guess.
I'm just curious because I understand that they upgraded the engine, but at the core, it's still that old Morrowind engine.
Yeah.
It's still the same. So, I'm not sure I'm buying it. I mean, I'm very extremely times 100 skeptic.
Understandable.
Systems. Over 1,000 planets.
1,000
all
planets.
Open for you to explore.
How?
We can't wait to see what you find.
So
They must
yeah, I
be
don't know.
procedurally generated.
1,000 planets. How they can procedurally
Are you just going to be
generate that.
visiting barren wastelands, or are they going to be populated
So,
with
and then
things and
And
people
then,
and,
as
like,
far as
secret
I
cave-
understand, as far as I understand from what has been said, is that the entire planet is open to, like, at any given spot, is open to exploration.
Right, that's my understanding of it too.
That's a lot of shit to load.
Yes, and there has to be at least some level of procedural generation here. There's no way that they built every planet, without any use of procedural generation.
I don't know.
Look at
I am skeptical about good story because for the past decade they didn't make a good story for like anything. I love Fallout 4. I have over 1,000 hours in the game.
Yeah.
But story in it sucks.
I mean, I always
Fallout
thought
76, I quite frankly got to the finale of the Wastelanders, and I did not even finish it because the robots in the game just whoop your ass. Not tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Those robots at least are 3 times harder than Fallout 4, and I freaking play Fallout 4 on very hard difficulty.
Right.
I play Fallout 4 just below survival.
Okay.
And I balance it out with mods where the weapons deal they balance out the weapon damage to the damage you take, combined with the difficulty and all that kind of crap. But anyway, so what was I saying? I lost track of. Oh, wait, I lost my track of thought. What was I saying? Where I was going with all of this?
You're worried about the story.
Oh yeah. So I just gave up on Fallout 76 story altogether because I couldn't get past those bots.
Right. Yeah.
But to begin with, it was not that very exciting. You had to go and be a pawn for 2 different factions, and then you had to choose in the end who you side with. Very engaging.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Skyrim story is very barren. I mean, yes, Skyrim is a game of a decade, I would say, but that's because they keep milking it. But with mods and with additional stuff, it gets more interesting once you add a little more content into it. But if we take vanilla state of Skyrim, you can play it through, I don't know, 2-3 times.
Right,
quests.
yeah. So
Then you get freaking bored.
I think that Skyrim's main story, like if you just blast through the main story, it's not super in depth. And it's fairly like basic and straightforward. And I think that game was more about finding all the little side quests and stuff like that. So it's kind of you explore,
Exploration.
you find, exploration,
It's an
finding
exploration
side
RPG
quests.
game, essentially what I was talking about in the beginning.
Right. So I think that it could be something like that. You could have just a very basic overarching main story, and then you've got all these planets to go find, little civilizations and side quests and things like that. And I would be okay with that. We're going to finish this video real quick though, because we got like a minute left.
Okay. But same with Fallout 4. The stories are very basic, so I'm hoping that they actually wrote something decent for this.
Yeah.
Oh, how? Oh, it's the Mars rover Easter egg. Look at it. It looks beautiful. This is all just procedurally generated then. It's just tons of areas to explore. I hope there's like moments in them, like things to find. Because thousands of empty planets could be a dangerous thing, right? Could be, yeah. But like, what they've shown is absolutely nuts. Are there?
Okay, so I wish I knew more about the taking off and landing as like the big thing I'm sticking on. Because when you saw the ship just sitting there on the planet, it looked like No Man's Sky, where you can fly down, you just see like a flat bit of ground, and you can just land right on it and get out, and you know, you can just hop all around the planet like that. Yeah.
What engine does No Man's Sky run on?
Oh, I have no idea now that I think about it. I can look it up, but
I'm just curious. Because clearly that engine that engine can handle it. But
right.
my question is, will the creation engine handle it? Just how much of upgrades they put into it? Because like Fallout 76, not that many upgrades were done to it.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but I know I'm seeing that they possibly made their own engine for it. Either that or just people don't know. But I can keep looking for it. But yeah. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. Because I don't think, I really think they might have made their own. You know, geared more towards.
No idea.
Yeah. Like trying to scan an article right now about it. Yeah, yeah, they made their own. That's crazy. Because I'm reading an article now that says
it's called proprietary engine.
Yeah, and I'm reading an article on PC Gamer that's saying that modders are trying to go through the files, like the game files, I guess, and trying to find ways to recreate the engine. Yeah. That's crazy. I never knew that. So I'm glad you asked. Yeah, I never knew they made their own engine for that. Which, you know, whatever they did with their engine to make it work so well with their procedural generation and stuff, I mean, Bethesda, you know, they've got the resources. They very easily could have gone in and adjusted anything that they needed to adjust for that. But yeah, my overall opinion is that this could really go either way. Especially with a company like Bethesda, where you have some games that are just so absolutely amazing and like everybody knows them, you know, everybody's played them. And then you have some that, you know, everyone gets super hyped for, and then they kind of suck. So, you know, yeah, definitely could go either way. I'm going to approach this as hopeful, but I'm not going to be shocked if it goes bad. But I'm very hopeful because I love space and space games, and I would really love to get like a space Skyrim, you know?
It's also, they showed combat, like the spaceship combat. I'm kind of curious if it's going to be anything like, I don't know, Warframe.
It looked almost exactly like No Man's Sky space combat. There's a lot of things that look almost exactly like No Man's Sky. So like,
I guess it's a good thing that that people compare the two, because apparently they do share similarities. I don't know if there was a space combat for Outer Worlds. I know that Andromeda didn't have any, at least to my memory anyway. Like only in cutscenes, but not like you actually go and you fight.
Right. Yeah, I
Because
don't
all the
remember.
travels there were cutscenes, loading screens, what have you.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember any space combat in Outer Worlds, but I don't think I got super far into it. I think I put a couple of hours in, maybe like 4 hours or something. So
you need to play that in preparation to steal your nerves for Starfield.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm excited though. I think this is going to be another one of those games where I stream it and you check it out from my stream.
I'm gonna definitely watch you suffer just in case it goes south. But yeah, I just see people hype it up, and I'm like, well, Cyberpunk definitely didn't show anything.
Yeah.
Because that game was a big fail.
Oh my god, Cyberpunk. I waited like a year to buy that game, and I thought surely they fixed it by now. It's a year later, and I played it for maybe an hour, and it was the most bugged game I've ever played. Nothing worked. Nothing worked right. There was a cutscene like towards the beginning after you finish the little tutorial. Like the tutorial worked, and then it does this big cutscene of like you and your new friend doing like gangster shit. And the cutscene didn't work. There's like NPCs just sliding around the cutscene, not doing what they're supposed to do. And then
it's perfect material for shorts for YouTube.
Oh my god, yeah, that's true. I wish I would have been making shorts back then. Or like when it first came out, they probably would have done really well.
I think I either will not buy Cyberpunk at all, or I will buy it like when it's like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% off.
Honestly,
I might buy it.
Even then I wouldn't recommend buying it, because like there is a mission where my friend is supposed to be driving, I'm supposed to be in the passenger seat, and a van pulls up, and there's supposed to be a bunch of bad guys hanging out of the van shooting, and you're supposed to shoot them. Well, the van pulled up and the door opened, and there was no people in it. There were no NPCs in it at all. And the guy in the driver's seat is yelling, "Shoot them, shoot them." And I'm looking around like nobody's shooting at me. There's just an empty van driving beside me. How do I complete this mission? It was ridiculous. The worst bugs.
Maybe if they like drop the price to like 80% off on Steam, I might get it and just to try it for 2 hours. See how my rig handles it. Should handle it fine.
Yeah.
Definitely would not buy it for like PS4, God forbid.
No.
Even if it's even sold on PS4. I know they took it off the store because it was just, they promised it was gonna run and then it didn't. So they took it off entirely.
Yeah.
Off PS4. I think it's still on PS5, but not PS4.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that was CD Projekt Red, which is
The Witcher. The Witcher 3
developers. They had like a sterling reputation, and they completely trashed it.
With one mistake. It's how somebody was telling me, oh, well, Bethesda made one mistake with Fallout 76 and you're going to be canceling them. But guess what? Bethesda did this mistake with Fallout 76, same as CDPR. They made a mistake with Cyberpunk, and it completely ruined their reputation. Yeah. And like I like a saying by one very, very wise man, trust is like paper. Once crumpled, it will never be smooth again.
Yeah. I mean, and they were one of the most trusted companies out there.
Yeah, and this is the case. This is why I am not excited. I am very nervous about Dragon Age 4. Very nervous.
Yeah.
Starfield, I'm very skeptic about it. What else is out there that's coming out? Ubisoft, I mean, after Division 2 and Valhalla, and their decommissioning of games, I'm just losing all hope for them. That is just a ship sailed. So, I mean, they're gonna be releasing Assassin's Creed in Japan, and I'm like, Ghost of Tsushima exists. Why are you doing this to yourself? Because
Right,
Ghost of
yeah,
Tsushima is just, it's a masterpiece game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's set in Japan and it does a better job than Assassin's Creed's.
Yeah, they
games do.
won't be able to compete at all. So
I don't think so. I mean, like, if somebody says that Assassin's Creed Japan is better than Ghost of Tsushima, they've never played Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Very grim looking future.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to see, because you know I'm gonna buy it.
Oh, I'm sure you will, because you're a sucker for punishment, like I said.
I am a huge sucker for space games. I cannot help myself. That's a real thing. But yeah, like I said, I
Are
got
you not
that,
playing Warframe then?
I did play Warframe for a little while, and I ended up not liking it very much because, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like the way you move around, and I didn't really like the way the Warframes looked, and it's just not really my type of game anyways.
I'm ashamed to admit I have 1,300 hours on that game.
Yeah.
I'm more ashamed to admit that in Dragon Age Inquisition I have 4,000 hours.
Yeah, I never finished that one. I keep getting like
I
sidetracked.
played through it like 3 times by now. Oh well, blame Colin. I'm busy romancing him every time.
Yeah, I need to finish that one day. Well, we've gone over our hour, so I don't know if you want to go ahead and wrap it up. Final thoughts on this?
My final thoughts?
Yeah.
Be wary. Because this can backfire very badly. Because we don't know if the ships land and take off, if it's a cutscene, or it's implied that it's supposed to, like, if you can land anywhere, is it a cutscene every time, or how is that, like you said, how does that connect? You pick out a spot and you land anywhere. How does that connect with the loading screens and what have you? Because I don't know, pathing exists.
Yeah.
Now they have over 1,000 planets. Are they procedurally generated? If so, can this engine handle it? How is the game structured? Is each galaxy in its own world space, and then there is a world space within the world space for the planet, and world space within the world space for you actually moving around the planet, not including all the caves and buildings or anything with inner cells in it. So how does the game structures? Because that's gonna play into how the game's gonna run. It's gonna play into where the bugs are. Creation engine is notorious for memory leaks. So meaning there is a potential every time there is a loading screen, you can crash. That was the problem with original Skyrim. It's a problem with Fallout 4. Not sure about 76. I only have 100 hours in it, and I was brain dead half the times I played it, so there's that.
Yeah.
I want to do a returning to Fallout 76 video, but I just cannot bring myself to play that trash. I guess I need to pick a very bad mood I'm in so I can bitch and moan about it.
Yeah.
So then my main question is, we can build our own starships or what have you, spaceships, and all this customization. Is there monetization? How egregious that monetization? Like, because we know Creation Club exists, paid mod existed, which Creation Club is essentially that. They do like EA, and they get inspired by EA for their monetization practices, which is not a good thing to admit to, but okay.
Yeah.
And then, if there are bugs, will they be able to fix it and redeem their reputation after Fallout 76? Because we all know how that went.
Yeah.
Like, it's a question upon question upon question, which neither the reveal nor trailers have answered so far. Because we were promised 16 times the detail in Fallout 76. So unless I guess you play on a NASA computer, you will not see that.
Right.
Because I have a fairly good computer, and graphics leave much to be desired on max settings. So there's that. It runs on 60 FPS, it's just graphics look shit. But I can't mod anything because I don't want to pay
I think I lost you there. Okay, hold on.
You lost me.
Yeah,
Don't
I
don't
can hear you now.
Okay, good. So it all goes into one thing, is that I do not trust Bethesda as easily anymore.
Right.
And it's a matter of them to either redeem their reputation or trash it into the oblivion.
Yep. Yeah.
The potential to go Gareth and go mad.
Yeah, and I pretty much agree with you on all that stuff. I think you brought up some very good points, and I think that there's really just not enough information out there on this game yet, because it's like the more I learn, the more questions I have. So
Well, it's also Todd and Pete have a tendency. Some people might say over exaggerating. I say lying, but potato. It's all a matter of if they're gonna reveal any more details, if it's gonna be true or if it's gonna be gaslighting.
right.
Like it was with Fallout 76. Some cases with Fallout 4. But so it's all a matter of that. Like, I mean, I'll just watch you spend your money and suffer mental damage.
As always, right? All right, well, that's gonna be it for Starfield. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the old recording here so we can, or so I can get it edited and hopefully have it out on time Saturday morning. But yeah, so that's Starfield. Thanks for listening, everyone. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will be coming out with a new episode of the podcast every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Hope to see you around.